Right now, KIC 8,462,852, Tabby Star, is still swallowing its own light. And Harvard, Yale, Caltech, and NASA have no way to stop it. It dims by 22%. Then it comes back. Then it vanishes again. No pattern, no warning. And the best astronomers on Earth have been watching it happen for over a decade without a single explanation that survives the data. And what they found when they looked deeper, that's the part they don't talk about. Tabby Star sits about 1,470 light-years away in the constellation Cygnus, the same patch of sky where NASA's Kepler telescope spent 4 years staring at more than 150,000 stars, hunting for planets. Kepler found thousands of worlds, but in 2015, one star stopped it cold. Astronomer Tabby Star was leading a team of citizen scientists, volunteers combing through years of light-curve data. And in that river of numbers, they found something that had never appeared in any star anywhere. KIC 8,462,852 was dimming, but not the way a planet dims a star, not the quiet, precise, predictable dip you'd expect from something crossing in front of it. This was chaotic, asymmetric, violent. The light was dropping in shapes that made no sense, and it kept happening. Here's how much that matters. When a planet crosses in front of a star, it blocks about 1% of the light. Even a Jupiter-sized planet, massive, enormous, barely makes a dent. Astronomers call that a transit, 1%. Tabby Star was dimming by 22% in a matter of days, then recovering, then doing it again weeks later, months later, but never the same shape twice. Some dips were fast and sharp, some were slow and wide, some overlapped. One sequence lasted more than 100 days without repeating. This is not what a planet does. This is not what any known natural object does. And here's what the team didn't say out loud at first, but what every astronomer in that room was already thinking. Something was blocking the light, something enormous, something structured. But that's not even the part that worries them. The obvious answer was dust. A swarm of comets, maybe, debris from a catastrophic collision somewhere in the system. That would scatter light unevenly. That would create irregular dips. Reasonable, testable, and so they tested it. Astronomers turned the best infrared telescopes in the world toward Tabby Star and looked for heat, the thermal signature that a field of debris absolutely must produce. Dust absorbs starlight and re-radiates it as heat. You cannot hide that. The physics are airtight. There was nothing. No infrared excess. No heat signature. Whatever was blocking 22% of that star's light was producing zero thermal trace. The debris cloud theory collapsed, and so did most of the others. Here's the strange part, and this is the part you need to sit with. The most unsettling data point isn't the dips, it's the long-term fade. Historical photographic plates, glass sky images taken over a century ago, show that Tabby Star was significantly brighter in the early 1900s than it is today. Not just dimming in bursts, slowly, steadily draining away across 100 years. Astronomer Bradley Schieffer at Louisiana State published that finding and called it directly deeply strange. Natural stellar evolution doesn't do this. Stars don't fade like a dying battery across a century and then start flickering. Not like this. In 2017, a coordinated global observation campaign, dozens of telescopes, hundreds of astronomers, real-time alerts caught Tabby Star in the act. 4 distinct dimming episodes, unprecedented coverage. And at the end of all that data, the best consensus explanation was circumstellar dust. Loose, unstructured orbiting material, which does not explain the missing infrared signature, which does not explain a century of secular fading, which does not explain the geometry of the dips. Jason Wright at Penn State put it in a peer-reviewed paper. The dimming pattern is consistent with a Dyson swarm, megastructures, partial shells of solar collectors built by something advanced enough to harvest an entire star. That paper was published. It was never retracted. Neither Wright nor Boyajian is claiming that something built a structure around that star. Science doesn't work like that. You rule things out one by one until only the possible remains. And the fact that no natural explanation has held up is not proof of anything except that we are out of good natural explanations. But think about what that means. We have been watching this star for over a decade with the most sensitive instruments human beings have ever built. We have thrown every theory at it. Comet swarms, planetary debris, stellar instability, interstellar dust. None of them survived the full data set. What we know is this: something is blocking Tabby Star. It has been doing it for at least 100 years. It leaves no thermal trace. And it is still happening right now, 1,470 light-years away, while every telescope we can aim at it keeps returning data that doesn't fit anything we know. The observations are still running. The data keeps coming in. And the leading theories keep failing. So here is the question nobody alive can answer. If it's not debris and it's not dust, what is inside it? Drop your theory in the comments, because the scientists studying this one genuinely want to know.